I'd like to welcome you to the fall edition of Talking with Greenhills. I'm Jason Grisgoric, your host this evening, and very fortunate to have someone new at the round table. Yvonne couldn't make it this time around, but we do have Dr. Patricia Bender, as she's dubbing herself the Lady of Fun in Greenhills. And there's a reason why there's some fun going on, because there's something ghoulish going on in the village. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It is our second annual Harvest Fest.
It is actually our third annual.
I am off a number. How can that be?
Yes, but right.
Third annual.
Well,
amazing.
And you know, the nice thing is the first one was really celebrating the 75th.
Okay, and that's probably why I was not incorporating the two.
Came up with that great idea. Second one we did last year was eventful, but this one's even going to be more eventful.
You mean you can top the hot air balloon?
We can. As a matter of fact, there's going to be much more going on in the Commons.
Well, that's why we're here. Let's discuss everything that's going on Harvest
Yes.
Fest. This is going to be October 24th, so mark your calendar already, from 3 o'clock till 10?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
And what if I'm walking down Winton and Farragut, because that's where the
Fun begins.
We may need to use that. But if you're walking down to the corner, obviously getting ready to go to the Commons, what are we going to expect when we get there?
Well, surprisingly, at the Commons, what you're going to see are 3 large inflatables that have actually been volunteered for the city to use for children.
Okay.
They are going to be humongous in size and quite enjoyable. Also on the Commons is going to be a petting zoo. So we have one of the farmers that actually we get our corn stalks from and our pumpkins is going to be able to provide us with a place for people to pet animals live.
I'm thinking sheep and goats.
And horses and pigs.
Wow, you'll have a little bit of everybody
I know,
there.
it'll be very fun. And you know, in Greenhills now, we're allowed to have chickens.
This is true. It is a part of the ordinance.
So I think they should bring 6 of them. So they can see a family. Though I think in Greenhills we may only allowed to have 3.
I don't remember the exact number, but you know, gives an opportunity for those who do already have them, they can bring them to visit their family.
That's right. A very family-oriented event.
As we state here on the flyer itself.
Well, the other thing we're going to have is we're going to have pumpkins up there. And
well, it wouldn't be Harvest Fest without it.
That's right. And down at the market in the back, we are going to be having a hayride. So one of the part of the events is going to be taking the hayride to go up and get your pumpkin. And then circle around after you take time picking out which pumpkin you want.
Okay.
Take it back to the market, and then we're going to have painting going on there. So these children can paint the pumpkin any way that they want to.
Well, some of us kids at heart can enjoy it as well.
Everybody, any age.
All right.
Right?
Yeah. I hope so.
So I think that'll be very fun, and that is very family-oriented. We're going to be having that going on from 3 to 6.
Okay.
At 6 o'clock, we'll probably pull the pumpkins down to the main area. The inflatables will be done. The petting zoo will be done. So then kind of migrate more back to the back of the village. Now, back in the back, we have so much going on. It is going to be so exciting for every age group, which is what's nice about this year, is we do have some stuff going on for the youth. And that's one thing I found in Greenhills, that we really needed to bring them into the fold. We seem to have stuff for little kids and those young at heart.
Sure.
And then also for adults. But it's that youth group that I'm really excited about bringing on board. So what we have are booths, and in the booths we are going to have ink painting, we're going to have jewelry making. We are actually going to have a gentleman going and educating on raising chickens. Now this gentleman also blows glass, so he'll also have a booth on glass blowing. But we're going to have people who have homegrown foods. We are going to be having people who knit shawls and hats for winter.
It almost sounds as if you're combining a farmer's market with a very enjoyable winter festival.
That's
fall festival.
Fall festival, and because it is such a wonderful season, October is such a wonderful month to kind of harvest, get ready for the winter. It's a nice nurturing time for the neighborhood to come out and get to know one another. We will probably at 6 o'clock be putting on some bonfires, which people love to stand around and get warm and move on to other events.
I will admit that's one of the bigger things that we see as a draw when we are at Light Up Greenhills. It's that very large bonfire.
Humongous bonfire.
So if you're looking at other bonfires, are we still talking in the Commons area, or are we talking in the back where we're leading?
Yes, we are going to have our bonfires down in the back where we have all the vendors and the bands and the demonstrators.
And will the vendors be going going on as well during the afternoon, starting at 3, or will that just be going on starting around 4 or 5?
Vendors are going on from 3 to 10.
Okay.
And it's going to be well lit. Doug Kohler is doing a great job on lighting up the back for us. He's a wonderful volunteer for Greenhills, so everyone will have plenty of light. Every vendor will bring their own 10 by 10 tent, and they will design them any way that they want them.
Okay.
But the other neat thing that we are doing is we are having 2 stages for demonstrations. Now this is brand new. We didn't have this
was not from last year.
That's right.
So who's coming this year?
Well, we have a woman, Becky Eulenbrock, who is going to be demonstrating how to make kombucha.
A very delicious beverage, of course. For those who are unaware, it is brewed tea, but there's a little bit extra to that. It's on that fermentation side. So
yeah. So what it's going to do is provide you with very healthy health benefits.
Yes.
You can make it at home.
It's not that difficult.
2, it is full of probiotics, and most people know that word. But the direction on how to make kombucha, I think, is the intrigue on having Becky there to demonstrate it.
I'm glad we're having somebody do something like that.
That's right.
It's great.
That's right. And then we have another company, it's a man and wife, making homemade bone broth. Now,
interesting.
The reason I brought them on board is because today's healthcare, with its expense, not only with humans but with animals, bone broth is one of the most healing food that we can provide for ourselves and make our own. So now this small man and wife couple, Michelle and Steve, are going to provide how to actually make the bone broth, and give the direction and understanding in their demonstration. They will also have a booth as well.
Are we talking free samples?
There may be. That's the surprise.
That's
behind door number 1.
I will take it. And it's interesting that you're saying bone broth because, again, as everyone knows or hears, chicken soup for the soul. Always if you're ill or not feeling well, we go. That's that go-to.
And also for joint pain or arthritis or fractured bones. As a matter of fact, a little sideline. I had a tenant of mine whose dog got out and got hit, went to the veterinarian hospital, over thousands of dollars to heal this dog who had broken its leg in 3 places. She took it home and she couldn't afford that. And I told her how to make bone broth. And within 1 week, that dog was up and is now running around as if it had never been hurt. Now, is that profound?
Again, we talk about the ideas of homeopathic medication and
that powerful, very, very powerful.
This will be, again, another very interesting demonstration that will be coming here at Harvest Fest. Again, for those who want to join Harvest Fest, it is going to be October 24th, that third Saturday in October. We still got stuff to talk about, so we're going to continue on. We've got other things going on. One of the things that I do have in my hot little hand here that is a part of Harvest Fest is that you're talking about the youth getting involved. And there is a part back in that back area that is not as used as often as we were hoping.
Correcto. And you know what? It's so amazing because I had this revelation about 2 weeks ago that we needed something for our youth. Greenhills needs youth involvement. I remember last year sitting around a fire talking to people that live in Greenhills, and they're loving the fire. Now here's the youth, right, around my fire with me, and I'm like, oh, the perfect opportunity to ask them what they want, And so they just love the fires, which I think is something more we can create with that.
Sure.
But it dawned on me that we have this great skateboard park, never used. I see kids over there. And when we're setting up our booths, we just kind of put it out there, but don't do anything with it. And I thought, how wonderful to have a skateboard tournament.
Sure.
The first annual.
Well, this is excellent.
This is behind door number 2.
See, look at this. We are just giving things away left and right. We're looking at a start time at 3.
3 to 6. The flyers have been given to individuals that I know that go to UC, go to Winton Woods High School, go to the children that are homeschooled. I need to get them to the middle school. I don't have any contacts there, so if anybody wants to get in touch with me and say, hey, I'll give them to my child to take. If you have a child who loves skateboarding, this is a perfect opportunity. And you know, I just got back from vacation, stopped into a ski surfboard store, spoke to a gentleman about the skateboard tournament, and thought this was just the best thing ever and would be enjoyed by all ages. So you'll see on the application, which is on the bottom of the flyer, that the cost is $10 enrollment. We have a first place, which is $100. We have second place, which is the skateboard, the flat skateboard. Third place are wheels for a new skateboard. So we are really looking as an opportunity. Every child will get a t-shirt. And there also will be a sticker with the logo of the man on the skateboard that will be given to them with the first annual skateboard tournament in Greenhills for them to put on their binders or notebooks or anything that they bike, whatever they would want, skateboard, whatever they would want to put them on.
You bring up, obviously, the youth of Greenhills, and you're giving them out to the schools, and you said UC. What is our age limit?
Are we putting a cap on this? We're not putting a cap on it. We want all ages. I don't know anyone over 21 or 22 that really skateboard. They're more into the soccer, which we haven't gotten that far yet. But I think that, yeah, and you know, I want to get them down to Finneytown. I gave them to my niece who's in Coleraine Middle School.
So it sounds like we're definitely expanding it outside of Greenhills, which is great, because everybody should be included.
Everybody should be at this Harvest Festival, and it is such a great community event, and this is a perfect thing to bring our children in, don't you think?
I think this is going to be a wonderful time had by all.
And I really did a little bit of survey. I had a neighbor child who goes to Winton Woods and asked them about it. They loved it, thought that was a great idea, and so I think that we really will have a good positive turnout.
Listening to all these things that are coming up, and we are very fortunate to have in our next segment someone who will actually be there as well, John Jacobs from the Woodturners Guild. We will be talking to him about what to expect at the Harvest Fest, but I'm looking at what you looked at from last year, because obviously you garnered a lot of information, and what you took from that to bring this year together. And then what do you expect to bring, hopefully, for next year?
Behind curtain number three, what I found was that our first year was learning. Our second one was okay. But our third one, bringing on the demonstrators and having stages, I think is a very valuable piece. Because last year you walked around, you saw the booths, listened to a little music, left. This year, you've got a lineup of stages that have vendors that are going to be of interest to you. There's going to be another gentleman speaking on how to take care of chickens, the basic concept of chicken. He's from Mudfoot Farms, I have coming in to talk on that. And then I actually have Turner Farms coming in, which is a nonprofit organization, and they're going to go over the basic harvesting and prepping for the fall.
You're really looking at that harvest element, bringing it back to I don't want to call it that simpler time, but it's that time in which a lot of us are reverting towards, going back to that farmer's market idea, going from from table, farm to table, and things like that, which is great because you're looking at a small village that probably based itself off of back in the day.
Well, you know, I was born and raised in Greenhills. Went to grade school there, went to high school there, and moved back there after being gone for 15 years. And I truly feel that nurture of the community and want that to be redeveloped within our roots so that our children can remember the great memory that we had growing up and the beauty of that market back there, and make it a market for the summer. Next year is one of my goals, is develop a farmer's market that's there every week for us to bring eggs and fresh garden. Now, I do my own gardening, and so I did some canning. I did some tomato relish. Which
you are far more adventurous than I am. I am a farmer. Well, farmer, I use that term loosely. We call it a raised bed. But I am a gardener as well as one who does follow that same practice. So to see others continuing that forward, I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And again, you're saying the village is in need of that, and that's a great way to go.
And I think having also the youth there to be part of seeing that element part. They're all about computers and cell phones and internet. They're not about being outside necessarily.
Well, what
or
happens when you take it away?
gardening. Yes, all right, coming back to roots.
Sure.
So the other nice, exciting thing we provided is music. So we have, starting the concert, or starting the festival, we have Carolines. The Carolines are two sisters that play bluegrass and country. And they are part of the Troubadour, which is up at the Greenhills Shopping Center, right?
Yes.
So we also have a gentleman by the name of Henry Shriver, and he is going to be the second 2 hours playing.
Okay.
But the third hour, we are going to have the Band Camp. Band Camp is a group from Greenhills. And everybody in Greenhills that really likes good pop, rock and roll should know this band. And if they don't, they should be coming up to see them because they're our headliner. And they are going to be from 7 to 10.
So you're looking at a complete lineup of things to do and things to come out at Harvest Fest.
And all these adventures that are not going to be the same old, same old. So you've got something going on every hour, every 45 minutes is a new person on the stage. Then you've got your booths to go around to and food to be had and bowling, pumpkin bowling, I should say. So we have a lot of activities that we have going on for all the ages. My goal is to really also look for sponsors. So my next step is going to be, if anybody does want to sponsor any of the stages, all the fun event, the skateboard tournament, you're more than welcome to get in touch with me and let me know what you're interested in doing.
And in order to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
My phone number is 513-825-6264.
Excellent. Well, and we can always probably get in touch with the village as well to get in touch with you as also. So remember, mark your calendar, October 24th. That will be the start of a great afternoon at Harvest Fest in Greenhills.
And you are going to be there as well, are you
not?
I
will be jumping around there, yes.
Yes. So we will see you there.
You will see me there, so look forward to that as well.
I'm just sorry we're not having karaoke for you.
Oh, are you sure you want to do that? You
might
not actually get the microphone off me, so people know that. So, Patricia, we're going to get John in here real quick.
Okay.
And then we're going to bring you back afterwards, and we're going to talk about a few other things. But we're going to be bringing John Jacobs here next on Talking with Greenhills.
Tune in to the Greenhills Village Council meetings every first Tuesday on Time Warner Cable, Channel 23.
And welcome back to our special edition here of Talking with Greenhills. I'm very fortunate to have one of the fine presenters at the upcoming Harvest Fest with us today, John Jacobs from the Ohio Valley Woodturners Guild. John, glad that you could join us.
Thank you, Jason.
What brings the woodturners to the Harvest Fest? I mean, obviously, wood and the crackle of the fire always sounds about right.
Well, woodturners are sometimes misunderstood. They may not know what we do, and so...
Well, let's clean that myth up right away.
We'll do that. We'll give it every chance today for people to know exactly what a woodturner does.
Sure.
So the organization has been around for a number of years, and we're this weekend at our facility celebrating our grand opening at a brand new, what we're currently calling the Learning Center.
Okay.
It's Kennedy Heights Art Cultural Center, I guess.
Continuing education?
Right, it's Kennedy Heights Art Center.
Okay.
And so they've built a new facility or remodeled a facility. We do have a studio in there where we can now put on demonstrations for people that would like to know more about wood turning, have seen an interest in it. We have a number of members going out doing demonstrations, and so people have said, well, I'd like to do that, and said, well, now we have the facilities where we can hold classes and teach them the basics of wood turning.
Prior to your new adventure in a new home, where were you located originally? That it sounds like was causing a little bit of not as an easy means to get to people.
No, our home was a trailer.
Okay.
About a 4x6 trailer that we had the large demonstration lathe in, and we rented a church basement once a month. We meet on the third Saturday of every month, September through June, starting at 9 o'clock, and all are welcome. We have normally about 100, 110 people show up for that, And at those events, we'll have a professional, what we call a professional demonstrator, come in, somebody that goes around the country demonstrating new techniques, new ways of making wood shine, or more an artistic venture.
Okay.
And so those are welcome, or those events are welcome to anybody that would like to know more. And with our new facility now, we have the capability of offering classes anytime rather than have to rent a facility and take the good graces of several of the wood stores around town who have made facilities available.
Well, thankfully, before coming on the air, we did discuss almost a bad word, but I want to make sure we understand. What we need to define is what is a who is a wood turner?
Okay, a wood turner is turner is probably the key word. Okay. So we're turning wood. So most of the things we make are round. Okay. So we get round things. So we have a lathe, which is a device that we take a piece of wood, maybe a piece of wood not unlike this, and we have it between two centers, and then it rotates at anywhere from 500 to 2,000 revolutions per minute.
Sure.
We have gouges or chisels, we might call them, and they shave the wood off, making a variety of round things that we then, in many cases, give away to family members. We have a number of people that do craft shows, and so they are able to sell their things as well.
You bring this up as a great piece of art.
Yeah.
I like the way that is always described. Obviously, you had an itch for the wood. Yeah. What brought that about? What made you become a wood turner?
Had an interest in woodworking from as soon as my dad let me use the table saw, but never had a lathe to turn. So it's one of those things, well, I'd like to try that. So when I retired 11 years ago, I asked our sons to give me a lathe for my retirement, which they did, and it's been
been used ever since.
Used ever since, correct. And so,
well, as you said, things that we will be seeing very close to at Harvest Fest here in the village. You're looking at things that start out as a square piece.
Start as a chunk of wood from a tree, and so something like this may be a round object, and we see a couple of things on the table.
Sure. I mean, and then they eventually, as you whittle them or chisel them down or whittle them down.
On the right-hand side of the picture, there is a honey dipper. So a piece of wood like this could end up as a honey dipper, and it could be a nice present for your mother or any person in the family. And next to those are something that I've made called hairpins. Okay. So those girls and women that have the long hair, they put it up, and you see now a lot of times they'll use chopsticks. Well, these are a little more decorative. They're a little more fashionable.
As you said, going on that artistic side of it.
So that's where we start. So if we have a workshop for people that haven't done any wood turning previously, we'll start on something like that. It gets them used to the spinning wood and the gouges going in and removing the wood and how much we can force the gouge, and it's as long as you keep your tools real sharp, then it's a very easy. I say it's a very easy process, but it does take some experience.
If you're making it sound so easy, I'm assuming you've had a few mistrials.
Yes, we have something called catches.
Okay,
and so
I knew there had to be a term.
When a chisel goes in too much or too fast, it'll catch on the wood, and sometimes we have one of our demonstrators called UFO, unintended flying objects across the shop. And so sometimes we can recover from them, other times it becomes firewood.
And if something at that point, you pretty much have to start over again.
Exactly.
When you're starting and doing things, do you already have an idea by looking at that piece of wood, or do you go in saying, today I want to make a fine bowl or a goblet today?
I may say, okay, make a goblet or a bowl, but the wood really determines what it is that it's going to look like. Because when you go into a wood, one of the things you never know what you're going to find inside the wood. It may be rotten out inside. It may be very decorative in terms of the grain and how the grain has formed over the years. And so that may determine, midway, you may say, well, I'm going to make a goblet like this piece of wood may turn into a goblet. It doesn't look like much now. We just cut off a tree. It looks like a maple tree. And on the items that we have here, it could turn into a rolling pin where we have very flat surface. And that, again, is a technique. I wouldn't probably put a first-time turner making a rolling pin.
I'm seeing the larger rolling pin
because it takes you have to be very careful of getting it flat. But it may also turn into a goblet. And so And goblets of wood has been something that's been used for centuries for drinking out of. So,
Sure.
so they're quite food safe, and we don't have any problem with that. So among the items are.
A piece that you have here is this very interesting ring that I'm
Ring, yes.
seeing. And obviously, did that come from one piece of wood, or is this a
this
multiple
is, yeah,
piece?
this is called a segment. It's a ring segment. So I have 12 segments around here that I cut down very accurately, cut the angles, glued them together, and the last object on the table on the left side, you can see
Which is what I'm calling the cookie jar.
the cookie jar. Yeah, and if you look in, I think somebody's stolen all the cookies.
Figures.
So we make these rings, and then glue them together, and then you see that one is very smooth on the sides, and so where you see this one has
It's a little bit rough still.
Rough. So we turn it on the lathe.
I was wondering where the turning was coming,
turning.
because I'm looking at it going, well, we're talking very rectangular here, and
Right,
it's still
exactly.
rectangular there.
Yeah,
Where
right.
does the wood turning come?
Yeah, it
Okay.
turns. So we have these segments all glued together, and so some people make some very decorative, very artistic. We just call them segmented vessels because
Sure.
of the segments, and so that's one of the things. Once you get in and have experience on turning, then you go into this. It's some of my first venture into segmented turning, and you have these apprehensions, and it turns out it isn't as difficult as what I thought it was going to be. So.
Obviously, that we have our guild within the area.
Yeah.
How many guilds are within the state
There's,
of Ohio?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how many in Ohio, but
let's just say in our-
nationwide, there's 350 local organizations. We have the American Woodturners American Woodturners Woodturners Association, and they're based in Minneapolis,
Okay.
and they're sort of the parent company all over these guilds. And there's about 350 of these local guilds around the country.
So obviously, you like to get your art out, let people
Yes.
see what's going on. What drew you to our Fair Village and the Harvest Fest?
Well, it's an opportunity to get wood turning out into the public, to let them know what wood turners do, and so with the demonstrations going on constantly, people will be able to see, oh, that's what they mean by wood turning, and they may have a recent craft fair I was at. A lady came up and said, "I just bought a lathe." And I said, that's fine. And she said, but I don't have any tools yet. So that's that opportunity to talk with the wood turners to see, okay, this is where you probably want to set in terms of a basic set of tools to get comfortable with them. Because you can get very exotic. The whole wood turning has grown up tremendously over the years in terms of tools that you can purchase and apply toward wood turning and making different objects and different things that you look at. No, they couldn't have possibly turned that on the lathe, but yes, they have. So it can be very expensive.
Not that we're giving anything away, so that people still get out there in October to our fair event. What will you be demonstrating? Obviously, you're saying the wood's going to determine exactly what you'll be eventually turning.
Right.
However, what will someone see during these demonstrations?
Probably the most frequently turned item will be bowls. Okay. And so we have two areas of bowls that we talk about. Green bowls, which is information that comes, or wood that comes directly from the tree, so it's still wet.
Okay.
It's really interesting to turn that because you have to stand aside for all of the water flying off the lathe.
Point.
And so the green bowl turning, which is almost like if your tools are real sharp, it's almost like cutting butter, and you'll get these long streams of wood coming out, and it's almost a dance with the lathe as the wood's coming out. And then we'll have dry bowl turning in on the items on the table. There are 3 or 4 bowls there that have been turned, and the front one there is a cherry bowl. Came from a cherry tree. It has a real tight grain, so you get a real nice finish. The one in the back is an ash bowl, and ash is a much coarser grain, and so it doesn't give you the real good finish. Wow. And so we can turn with dry wood. We let wood cure and dry, seasoned for probably about a year. It takes that long for it to get down to a moisture content that we consider dry, and turn dry bowls, and that's where you see the real thin bowls.
Oh. Well, obviously, it's something to look forward to when you go and visit Harvest Fest. So, John, I want to thank you for joining us. And we're going to bring Patricia back because we're going to talk about a few other hauntingly good things coming to you in the village here on Talking with Greenhills.
Tune in and join us for County Fair with your host, Jason Gresgork, live every fourth Monday on Time Warner Cable, Channel 23, Coleraine residents, Time Warner Cable, Channel 8.
And welcome back to the fall edition of Talking with Greenhills. I brought Dr. Patricia Bender back here to talk about a few other things that are going to round out what's going on this ghoulish season we call fall. Patricia, we were talking earlier about Harvest Fest and all the joy that it's going to bring, but it's not just going to start and end in the Harvest Fest. There's more. Something very special that's going on at the golf course, something that hasn't been done before. Oh, see, I knew I brought you on.
I wish I could go get in my little outfit I have. You might see me witching around on the park.
Oh, you're giving away so much. But there is going to be a haunted golf course here in Greenhills.
That's right. Every Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10, there is going to be a haunted golf cart hayride.
How interesting. What was the spark, the inspiration, the witching craft that came about to make this happen?
Well, I actually had a bat come down and sit on my shoulder. And he said, "Patricia, you want to know how to make something eventful in Greenhills?" And I said, "Oh, wise one, tell me." And I got out my paper, right? Let me go get some brew. And so he explained to me the idea of having this nice, complete, haunted hayride in Greenhills as a way to bring our youth and our families back out into our neighborhood and utilize the great golf course that we have.
Absolutely. Now, are we looking at something that's a traditional type of haunted hayride where people are kind of jumping out at you? Are we looking at scenes? I don't want anything to be given away.
I'm not telling you anything.
So in other words, I have to go.
You have to go. As a matter of fact, maybe you can bring your camera and come. As a matter of fact, you're going to be going through this smog. You're going to be going through this fog, so you won't see what's on the other side till you get there.
And so all of the good goblins and elves have spoken with Joel at the Greenhills Golf Course and made this happen.
They have. They all have a good handicap. He's made sure that they're right in swing with what they're going to be doing.
Excellent.
And that they are going to be teed up for the event.
And the times again, starting at what time till?
They are going to be Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 through the month of October, which there are 5 weekends in October.
And the last one being Halloween.
So what we've suggested is they wear their Halloween outfit when they come up.
Excellent idea.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
They might get a trick or treat.
It is the village. You never know what to expect. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I will assume that you and Joel have gotten everything together. It's going to kind of segue into where we're going next, but anybody who would like to get more information or some maybe help in regards to this?
It would be wonderful because it is, again, volunteer-based.
Sure.
With the ideas we have in mind, we would love to have some we can use adolescents, teens, adults to help us out with this event. Would love to have the fun of being part of that experience. And it's a blessing that it's actually the same Saturday as the Harvest Fest.
It's interesting because, like you said, there are 5 weekends that we can go out and experience this. Halloween being the end result. I mean, the weekend before is the Harvest Fest, so there's reasons to go out each weekend.
That's right.
So for those who would like to help with either Harvest Fest or help with the golf course in that regards to the haunted side of it, they can get in contact with you, correct?
That would be great.
And that number is at the bottom of your screen to get a hold of Dr. Bender here at 825-6264. Or you can always call Joel up at the golf course. That's Joel Suggs at the Greenhills Golf Course at 729-7073. And just ask to be a part of some wonderful, wonderful changes that are going on this harvest time.
I don't know what I'm going to do in November. After all of this excitement, it's going to be hard to sit down and not do anything more.
Well, it kind of leads into where we're going next, in that, you know, you did make mention of the V word, which is what we do here. We are volunteer-based as well as many of the events here at Greenhills.
Yes.
Trying to get people involved. And so for those who are interested in helping out, Maybe that's what you'll sit and do in November. That all these people will flood you with these helping hands, and you can get your own volunteer application. It's on the website as well as
at the post office. And I just went and picked one up today, and I called her to let her know I have it. I'm excited that we have actually listed different events that go on in Greenhills right now.
Correct. We're not just talking about the Harvest Fest. It's everything. We've got things from the concerts to Light Up to the runs to Harvest Fest, of course, but other parts of the village that may need some help as well.
Yes, we have the cleanup coming up that would be great to have volunteers for, and that's 26th of September. And that will be a very fun time. I really appreciate anybody that can come out. You will not see on the application at this time the hayride, because at the time we made that, it was not posted.
Sure.
So I will get in touch and have it added if indeed, or people can write it in. But would love to have, I mean, even if we had a family who would like to work it one night, or you want to just work it one evening of the weekend, that would be great as well. It doesn't mean you have to be there every Friday or Saturday. That's the fun about volunteering, is you get to put the time in you want, in the days you want, and we would love to have them there.
And obviously, as we're looking at some of these things, you're saying your time commitment is valuable, whatever you can give. So obviously, if you're interested, the post office as well as the Greenhills website, get your information out there. Just like we ask for your help here, the village is asking for yours as well. So give a hand.
Yes.
Patricia, we've made it to a nice time of the hour. I want to thank you for coming out. You have brought the fun here to the table today.
Let's keep it going.
Excellent. We will definitely have to bring you back, because I know there's a lot of other things we'll talk about. As you said, November is going to be your time off, but December, January, February, the whole other time, there's a lot of things going on.
There is. There will be a lot of fun events.
So, remember, Harvest Fest coming up in October. The cleanup is next week in September.
September 26th.
Yes. And
9 to 12. We're meeting at the Commons.
As always. But Dr. Bender, thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us as well. If you're interested in volunteering, just like the village is asking, we ask you as well. Make your own program, be a part of our crew, but make something different for your life. Try something new. That's why we're here. 825-2429. That'll get you into our office, or you can visit our website at waycross.tv, get all the information you need, and do something new this year. I'm Jason Grisgork, Waycross Community Media's Government Access Coordinator, giving you the opportunity to talk with those in the know here with Talking with Greenhills. Have a great evening, and I'll see you next time.